As I mentioned earlier, Nigel Farage is also out campaigning this morning. Here he is, speaking from his campaign bus in Dudley.
Look, I think one of the reasons that maybe the Remain campaign's taken a bit of a lead is not enough people on the Leave side are making strong enough arguments. It's all well and good to say we could have more money for the National Health Service, but actually this referendum is about more than that. Our politicians have given away control of our country. They've given away control of our borders. And our message has got to be clear, it's got to be assertive. We believe in Britain, we believe in this country, we believe in its people, and we want our country back.
Nigel Farage from the top of the bus. Well, a little earlier, I spoke to our correspondent, Eleanor Garnier, and asked her how the campaign was going for Nigel Farage from where she was standing.
Well, from this very lofty height, Joe, and this very glamorous bus, I have to say, it's the first time I've been on this vote leave bus, or the vote to leave bus, if you like, the UKIP bus. From here, well, there's sort of like benches and chairs, you can sit in the sun, some loudspeakers, because when Nigel Farage arrived here in Dudley, he came with blaring music, and he gave a big rousing speech from the top of the bus. And I'm going to pop down and have a look inside and then meet you outside. Hang on 2 seconds. So, yeah, there were loads of people when he arrived, a bit of a mob waiting for Nigel Farage. Not that interesting here, loads of posters and things like that. But, yeah, there was a huge crowd waiting for him when he arrived. And I would say this campaign event has been completely different to the one we saw from David Cameron, which was very organised and controlled. When Nigel Farage comes to town, it is anything goes. If you want to try and talk to him, you just get into that scrum and try and get that photo, get that selfie, get your poster signed.
Right, it does feel completely different because, of course, we had a barrage of graphs and figures and economists from the Remain side. And as you say, this is a really different field. Do you think it's all about personality politics on the Leave side in terms of Boris Johnson and Nigel Farage?
Well, actually, I asked Nigel Farage about that. I said, do you worry that you haven't got these big names supporting your side? And he said what this is it's about the ground war. It's about getting out and meeting people. He said he doesn't care who from the establishment backs the other side. He actually said he wanted that. He wants all those people in those big international companies to back the Remain side so that it can be a war, if you like, a competition between people on the ground, the real people, and the political establishment.
How's sort of the response been to that? I mean, obviously the people there are those people already convinced of the arguments being put forward by Nigel Farage, but what about others?
Well, before he turned up, I asked a few people if they decided how they wanted to vote, and there were a few who were really strongly committed to voting to leave the EU. They came out with their answer pretty quickly. But there were also people who hadn't decided how they were going to vote, and there were some who said, yeah, I'm going to vote to stay in the EU. So you can imagine that all the people around me now, all the people that have been trying to get to Nigel Farage, have been really pro-leaving the EU. And on that issue of the holiday, whether prices for holidays for a family of 4 would go up by hundreds of pounds, as David Cameron has been saying, Nigel Farage slammed that. He said that is just simply not true. The person to blame was David Cameron for not reducing fees for airlines travelling around the world. So he said, actually, it's a load of rubbish, really, what David Cameron has been saying this morning. And he went off, he's gone off to the butchers, I think, round the corner. He's been around the market here too, meeting loads of people and shaking hands, pressing that flesh, I think we call it in this industry, Joe.
We do. Now, listen, we better let you go and take your place on that bus. It's going to be the closest thing you'll see of a holiday this side of the referendum. Thanks very much.
Big Man Tyrone here. Make sure to subscribe to the wicked awesome Robin Hood UKIP YouTube website. He exposes the leftist crops on the British brainwashing corporation. Nice.